Chalupa is a popular webtoon reactor known to be a goat. From the words of his own fan, his entire channel is cringing at bad webtoons. This content can be described as 10-episode read-throughs of popular webtoons featuring stock footage of gameplay, basically a montage of other creators' works with the occasional edits. The purpose of these videos is to make fun of or mock the webtoons covered in the videos, which a lot of people find to be entertaining due to his editing style and humor. His humor is not for everyone though. They can be edgy or satirical and reflect his views on women, for example.
She isn't washing the dishes. Worst of all, she's forcing me to go to the kitchen.
For a self-proclaimed history buff, he is way too comfortable with the N-word.
You stupid
As a Mexican-American, he's surprisingly glazed for a reaction channel. How glazed is he?
Me after skinning my little brother because a guy faking to be Chalupa told me so.
Enough for you to be called stupid by 40 people in a day for merely implying that his humor is problematic. If you dare insult his humor, you are labeled as a sensitive person. His comedy ranges from harmless jokes to discriminatory jokes to outright shock humor like pedo jokes. You might find him funny if you don't take him seriously because it's hard to come across a video where he doesn't say or do something off-putting. Chalupa being funny has become a shield for him because he's perceived to be likable. Viewers often gloss over his flaws, moving on from the passing jokes and ignoring any concerns for his character. So what happens when the only defense his fans have for him is shattered? The reality behind this goat might be a little different. A master at damage control, from playing victim to deleting comments, removing his apologies from his channel, deleting his public Discord server, and now no one even knows what happened while his victims try to move on from the past. So what are the controversies behind his romanticized reputation?
We all have things we'd rather keep secret.
As an outsider, you might think that Chalupa's only real problem is that 1. His channel is built on negativity laced with jokes that are usually not funny for a wide audience, and that 2. He makes videos on indie webtoons. He made a video on the 4 of them. Why would you do that to the most wholesome webtoon ever? It's perceived to be objectively good, and the way he maliciously made this thumbnail for clickbait is offensive. It was really hard for me to find a clip that I found funny, so I had to watch most of his videos from the last 3 years, but I did manage to find one.
Adventure. I'm just gonna raise the volume. Please don't raise the volume. I can barely hear you as it is. No, stop!
I laugh every time. Many of his videos and streams feature indie webtoons on Webtoon Canvas, which are just random people like you and I uploading a comic on the internet, just like how I uploaded this YouTube video. Many of these creators are minors, or started as minors, so the comic quality is obviously not the best. He knows this, by the way.
It's most likely these guys wrote them when they were kids, so obviously it wasn't gonna be some Breaking Bad level writing.
What Chalupa does is generally frowned upon in the comic community, but he himself is not directly part of that community because he doesn't draw and he only writes bits as far as I know, so as you can imagine, him and his fans are not very empathetic towards these webtoon creators. The only time Chalupa promotes a webtoon is when he gets paid to.
Chalupa, do you still do paid sponsorships from small creators for other webtoons? Yeah.
I mean, he did make exactly 2 positive webtoon videos without getting paid, so I'll bring those up, but it's literally only 2. Besides that, Chalupa's reputation is preserved by leaving politics out of his videos. He can sound misogynistic, racist, fatphobic, or insensitive in general, but the jokes are passed off as satirical or edgy to his subscribers. If you watch his streams though, you'll find out how he acts in real life.
They're late for the school bus! No! Hooky! We're here to read Hooky, the first one! Dude, calm down. Dude, calm down. Is this your first live stream? Is this your first live stream?
Andrew Tate, Diddy,
Jeez, is it a laboratory or Diddy's mansion?
and Epstein
Are you Epstein?
live rent-free in Chalupa's head. Chalupa and this whole friend group of his are toxic, to put it nicely.
All I had to do, I just had to mention it. Man, I hope there's some homophobic background characters. No, but really, I'm confused. Was that a boy or a girl? I'm so glad I got the background characters.
They went to
This definitely came out
protesting
in
for natives
2018.
to get their land back and got mad at us.
This
not
reminds
joining.
me.
Were there
what
any
is-
natives
oh,
even
what
in
is it
that
called?
rally, in that protest? I would not be surprised if it was just a bunch of white people.
Chalupa, would you have a fanboy son or thought daughter?
Boarding school, military school, 2 years in Dagestan.
I know,
On
what,
to
I
the
know what
actual-
Chalupa thinks about Jewish people. It's nothing good. That's it. Just thinking about Jewish people got him riled up.
You're here too, so a long time no see.
You can't say that name.
You two gone. What the fuck is that name?
It's Korean.
Is that a Pokemon name?
Maybe no, it's just
That's a
Asian.
Pokemon name. That's a Pokemon name.
I might be a man, but I got a boy's mind.
That's literally Kurt Angle. You're a boy in a man's world, and I love to play with boys. You're a boy in a man's world, and later tonight, I'm gonna get on top of you.
I'm a woman. I don't have the rights to vote.
Who said that?
Agree.
Oh,
I
shit.
agree.
I would pull up into our personal server, but I won't because I know. No, I can't, because if I go into there, people will see what's on there, and we can't have the group chat being leaked.
To start off Chalupa's list of problems,
I may be racist. I may be a terrorist. I may hate everyone but myself. I may have an ego. I may be narcissistic.
he implies that the target audience for webtoons that he hates are girls.
2 webtoons, both about Jeff the Killer, both romance, both probably the same target audience.
His questionable humor from his videos can be endearing,
The male version of True Beauty. No surprise, it's the better version. Oh, and he's letting her drive.
until you find out that he hangs out with friends who sound even more off-putting than he does.
This bitch right here.
Look, we were right. Me and Cheesy were right. That's a she.
Oh, it is a girl? She has no tits, bro. Come on, man.
When writing a female character, you just gotta give them like big tits. That's it.
Yeah.
And make sure they don't do anything at all the entire series.
What's even worse?
Yeah, it's time to get abusive. Yes.
You said yes.
Chalupa is unfazed by anything they say, which is pretty suspicious. They must sound like this all the time. He himself sounds misogynistic sometimes.
I have received a call from a very distressed man. His wife has joined a group. It seems like she has gotten way too strong and independent. You're joining me, Obama, and Peter in the war against strong and independent women?
She started to do strange things. She got things at the top of the shelf by herself. She began to work out. She isn't washing the dishes anymore. She stopped calling me honey. Whenever I try to do something nice for her, she tells me that she doesn't need no man, and worst of all, she's forcing me to go to the kitchen.
Were you guys talking about me behind my back?
We were just talking about politics.
She was hideous.
I mean, he says there's no discrimination.
The Strong and Independent Woman Club wasn't me just being misogynistic or anything. We're just poking fun at a different group. Hint, hint. There's no discrimination or anything.
But I would not trust anyone who says this.
It wouldn't be the first time I've had to beat another man's wife on their behalf.
Ouch. Ouch. Ouch.
But don't worry, his humor is not misogynistic. He's just satirical all the time. Chalupa might also be homophobic because his friend uses a slur for gay men and Chalupa laughs his head off.
Hey, ladies, don't worry. I'll take care of this. I'll take care of this fairy. Ew.
I didn't even know this was a slur, but they certainly did. Chalupa does sound homophobic because he can't seem to stand BL.
I already regret being back. Why is it in the Netherlands? Why is it not in California? New York, super liberal land.
Oh no, and now they're gonna kiss! Oh no. Quick, assassinate me so we can transition to the next episode! Wants to kiss him. And then he does.
I don't know why he reads them other than to make fun of them for views. I won't say he's fat-phobic because I'm not supposed to share my opinion, but he sure fat shames a lot.
First, I need to grab lunch before calculus.
Oh yeah, I guess, yeah, I bet you do want to grab lunch, huh? Sorry! I had to. Chalupa, like, weren't you eating an apple earlier? Yes, an apple! This is healthy!
They're gonna be eating like their Doritos while typing that comment.
You guys can stay pig-maxing. Oh, I stay on the Sigma male grind.
Is that me?
She died from diabetes. She died at the end. You could see there was a little ghost at there, and the lesson there was you don't want to eat too much, right? If you overstuff yourself like that, you get it.
It's really jarring sometimes.
That's the girl from Trailer Trash.
Oh, yeah! No! She finally lost weight!
He refuses to say the word dumbass, but says the R slur perfectly fine.
Why are you calling me with such a stupid nickname when I have a proper nickname? Why don't you call me Flame Retard while you're at it? It's... Mama Lupa, please. It's embarrassing.
He also says it in a video.
Why am I so retarded?
He stopped saying it in videos, but only for his image because people were too sensitive, not because he thinks it's wrong. He still says it regularly.
Shut up, retard.
Chalupa promoted AI for a sponsor, and I just gotta say, it's really on brand of someone who makes fun of webtoons for a living to promote an AI that commercializes the plagiarism of written and drawn works. People were so upset at me for asking Duck AI if solo leveling is an isekai slop for a 1-minute bit in a 1-hour video. You'd think I was selling AI generated works by the way they overreacted. Chalupa outright spent 2 minutes promoting AI in a video half as long as mine, and no one said anything that rude to him. What is this double standard? It truly breaks my heart.
Is this BTS?
I don't even know what this is, that was so random, but how dare you disrespect? Out of all the free gameplays you could have used, you chose to use this one? Someone actually said, and I kid you not, things are just better when racism is involved.
Things are just better when racism is involved.
That is true.
And guess what Chalupa does? He nonchalantly reads chat.
Someone said, where are their mouths? I'm crying. Thank you! My money! My money! I need money, man!
Sure, you could say that was a joke, I'm sure it was, but usually when someone makes a joke like that, you react with something. Maybe an awkward laugh, maybe a not awkward laugh. You'll notice that Chalupa is very disrespectful towards the content that allows him to make money.
I can get off earlier than you.
Poor Sulu here. She's my bestie.
Can you call him soliloquy?
But soliloquy?
I'm glad you're learning Korean, like you said you wanted to in that 2023 interview.
Officer Cha, be a dear and clean this up for me, and
Officer
quickly.
Chud.
Officer Cha.
Officer Chud.
I don't know why they can't just say the names properly, but then again, Chalupa's content is supposed to be mockery, so I guess he has to stay true to his brand.
There's Officer Chud. Officer Chud is our goat, our savior.
That's just what they call this character now, by the way. They rename characters all the time because they don't want to pronounce Korean. But then why are they reading Korean webtoons? Just read English webtoons at that point, there's so many. I didn't even know Chud was a word, but I feel like it's harder to pronounce than Chud. Don't tell him I said this though, he might shoot me.
Shin, that's her forever name.
Not cool. You should say her full name.
Chalupa doesn't like renaming characters.
Before Police Guy can say his name, Jeffrey names him to Sugar. And here we have the signs that he's insane before he's even murked anyone. That alone is reason enough to turn off the body cam.
Something doesn't add up here. He's comfortable pronouncing other names.
Natch Cirque is the son.
He apologizes for pronouncing Persephone wrong.
He accidentally knocks over Persephone.
Even hates himself for it, but purposely mispronounces and renames Korean names. Pointing out that changing names is problematic though is only being nitpicky to Chalupa fans. But it's okay when he does it.
Hyundo to kiss Chayrin back?
Even if you don't think making fun of names in other languages or changing them all the time is racist, surely you'll think this is racist. I wonder what made him go from liking Asians to hating them in less than 2 months. Whoever did that to him, good job. No one would want to be associated with this guy. When someone makes race jokes in general, there's always a reason. When someone is comfortable enough with the N-word to make jokes out of it, there is also always a reason. Chalupa used to have a public Discord server that anyone could join, and some people still have screenshots of his Discord messages from that time. He said the N-word this time, and 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 this time. Just in case you missed it the last times or want a video recording, he even reassures you that yes, he did indeed say the N-word. This wasn't 2017, this was 2023. I thought we already established the fact that saying the N-word in your everyday speech as someone who's not African makes you racist. And when you're actually racist, it's not satire anymore. Creators with millions of subscribers have been cancelled for even saying the word once. So why was this guy an exception? I get that he had 100,000 subscribers in comparison, but when it comes to him, people have the lowest standards. Does he have some kind of sob story I don't know about? Racism is not black and white. There are extents to it. I don't need a clip of this guy admitting that he is racist for me to say that he is racist, but I do have a clip of him saying he might be racist.
I may be racist.
That's the closest we're gonna get to admission, unless he actually wants to be cancelled, because he doesn't seem to think that saying the N-word would get him cancelled. And it didn't, so I guess he was right. No one cared for whatever reason. Was everyone in that Discord server racist?
Join the Discord server to meet the most deranged people that this world has to offer.
Imagine, just imagine, hanging out with a guy who says this.
Hold on. Wait just a minute.
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
kiss?
If you're wondering why this is a problem, it's because the main character of this webtoon is a child, and the other character is clearly an adult. Chalupa's friend number 2 expresses his distaste in the joke.
Wait, that's a kid, bro. Come on.
But Chalupa is unfazed and moves on like nothing happened.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to supporting Man United.
And the guy who said the joke doesn't apologize or even acknowledge that the joke was kind of messed up. You notice a behavioral pattern because Chalupa himself makes an even worse joke. He's voicing the main character, so he's reading out this child's lines, and instead of reading out the lines normally, Chalupa changes them to this.
I know you wanted me. I know you wanted me to keep on fighting the good fight, but I have to be the boner. It's my alter ego.
I had to do a double take because why? Why would you even make a sexual joke on a child character? It's disturbing. This wasn't that surprising though because I already knew what kind of jokes Chalupa made in the past, and I came across this other disturbing clip. Chalupa took a picture of a real child and a picture of a real pedophile and animated a rape scene between them, portraying that the real pedophile raped then killed this real child. For context, the webtoon that he's reacting to in this video was not even a bad webtoon, in his own words.
It's not bad, sure a little corny, but it's definitely not slop. This one has pretty good potential.
It's not like the author made an inappropriate ship or that Chalupa thought there was an inappropriate ship happening. He just made this joke because he thought it would be funny. It's one thing to animate a joke like this in general, but it's another to use real pictures of real people to animate a joke like this. At first I didn't know what to think of it because I've never had to think about something like this before. I've never seen anyone do this before. It's gross, but how gross is it perceived to be if no one is talking about it? There is a slight war going on in the comments below, but it's not about the rape scene. It's about the drama that went down between Chalupa and the authors of 2 other webtoons he covered in the original video. Those 2 other webtoons were removed, which is why this video is only 5 minutes long. Basically what happened was, Chalupa implied pedophilia in a webtoon for no reason, which led to creators getting harassed, resulting in the discontinuation of one webtoon and the deletion of another. So 1 out of 3 webtoons survived this video. And if you're wondering why the video was cut short, it's not because Chalupa felt bad for his actions, it's because one of the webtoon creators paid Chalupa to remove their webtoons from the video because Chalupa didn't want to take down this video. Five Nights at Freddy's is a horror game, and these webtoons were indie fan comics. The animatronics in the first game are possessed by children. It has never been consistently confirmed that all animatronics in the franchise are possessed. The fandom has, for years, created humanized versions of animatronics. Here is the summary of the drama in the words of Chalupa's own fan. Since Freddy and other animatronics are children and the authors made ships with Night Guard and Freddy, Chalupa called them weird and pedo-like behavior. He just called them pedo, and they cried about how they aren't actually children because these are alternate universes and these aren't the normal version where they are children. In this comic there are adults who happen to be robots. This is the comic that was discontinued, FNAF Become Alive, which is the first one that Chalupa read, and as soon as you start reading this webtoon, there is a disclaimer stating that the animatronics are not children. Although I couldn't find the original video, I can confidently say that Chalupa did not even include this disclaimer in his video because if he did, there's no way this many Chalupa fans are illiterate and deaf. But look how he's defended. Oh my god, it's not a big deal. Y'all are making a much bigger deal about it than you have to. I get your fans, but he shit-talked one of my favorite webtoons and it's not a big deal. I think shit-talking a webtoon and calling someone a pedo is very different, but bro, the creator of FNAF Become Alive comic is such a baby. Oh god, poor Chalupa? Why are people so soft nowadays? This is a basic Chalupa video. Saying that is not doing him any favors. Chalupa did make an apology in the form of a pinned comment and later deleted it, but we can still read it, and it reads, "I apologize that you took this very personally." What kind of victim blaming apology is that? I mean, he was right to take it down because it was absolutely garbage, but when you do so, you put up a better one. Apparently there was also a video apology as well, but that one vanished too, along with his conscience. His fans still defended him for this. The fact that the creator couldn't take a joke and just go on with their day, I would say they are overreacting and completely not prepared for the internet. Imagine being a creator and deleting years of hard work just because some guy made a pedo joke. I'm sorry, but if you can't move on over something that wasn't even 10 seconds, then you do not respect your artistic project. Of course it's not constructive. It's reaction content, Brody. You shouldn't just throw your shit out the window. It's called defenestrate because someone you don't even know doesn't like the things you make. That's a weak mindset. Oh my god. If a video like this made you delete your comic, then I have nothing else to say, but that's on you. The hate from this video doesn't make you special. I hate this comment. This This one's my favorite. I didn't find a single comment on this video mentioning payment, despite 2 of his community posts outright stating that he was paid. But there are also a concerning number of people claiming their comments were deleted. Chalupa made a victim-blaming apology video while ignoring the creator's attempts to contact him privately, which led to even more harassment from Chalupa fans. To force Chalupa to respond, Luro, the creator of the other FNAF webtoon that Chalupa's collaborator reacted to, copyright striked the FNAF video. Chalupa insisted he keep the video up for financial reasons while negatively impacting the creator's finances while he is profiting off their content that he used for free. The creators knew that they were in the right but was desperate to stop the harassment, so Luro offered payment to Chalupa to remove his and Lova's webtoon from the video. Chalupa lets Luro pay him, as he says, "You know what? Fine. I'd rather not want this to continue. You can financially compensate me for the video." $700? Why does he sound so entitled? The webtoon creators paid him for his own mistake, which is so wild to me, especially when he knew it was all a misunderstanding on his part. Chalupa believes that he himself got harassed and that he is the one who was insulted. That's why he was ignoring the creator's attempts to resolve the conflict privately. But not even his own fans admit that he was harassed. His fans had to get creative with their insults because Chalupa wasn't harassed, like saying, "Sucks they strong-armed you into ruining your video." The worst of Chalupa's harassment is commenters lamenting his unfortunate illiteracy and rightfully demanding the deletion of his video, while the worst of the harassment that the webtoon creators received was literal child hentai on their Twitter. And by child hentai, I mean sex between a little girl and a grown man. You know this is a grown man, even though I blurred part of the video for you because this girl calls the man Mr. And guess who was involved in this controversy? Guess who helped harass these poor creators? That's right, our favorite preteen obsessor, Blacklight Jack. Remember, Chalupa's video was copyright striked to get his attention because he had been actively ignoring the creator's attempts to contact him for days. That's when Jack made a video in support for Chalupa, showing Luro's email. "I'm the one who censored it." Here's a commenter speaking out about it. Chalupa never addressed this whole smear campaign properly, and it was all just swept under the rug because he deleted comments and apologies, and the Reddit thread made about the situation at the time was also deleted. He said, "I was wrong about the map thing," but he still accepted payment to remove it. How did he not go out of his way to harass people? And how is a pedo joke a joke when it involves real people and their reputation?
Ethics? Psh, so lame.
I don't see a point in arguing against the usage of shock humor because if the person using it cared about other people's feelings, they wouldn't have used it in the first place, so what's the point of talking to a brick wall? However, ethics are pretty black and white. In Luro's country, $400 is equivalent to months of rent, so he had to overwork himself after paying Chalupa. Chalupa's work ethic of charging someone to remove a portion of his video that he messed up on was not the right thing to do, and I think most people would agree with that. You can't deny that this is objectively a shitty thing to do. Where are your standards? This is the guy that you call the greatest of all time? The guy that fucked up and can't take responsibility? The guy who can't take criticism and can't delete a goddamn reaction video? I guess when you only make reaction content, you get into this delusion that it's a lot of work because that's all the work you've ever done for your channel for years. This is my favorite quote from a self-proclaimed Chalupa fan. "His content is meant to be funny. This kind of thing isn't something he should have to deal with, making his 100k subscriber goal feel insignificant. I hope you guys realize how much this can affect someone and their channel they spent years growing." Which is funny because most of his subscribers fail to realize the effect that his video had on the webtoons the artist spent years growing. But it's all about protecting poor Chalupa because what did he lose from this? Oh, that's right, he only gained from this. Luro writes, "Actually insane how one video made in a week ruined years and years of our own hard work." Although the situation is crazy, you'll come to realize that it all makes sense in Chalupa's perspective because the reason he became a YouTuber was to make bank. I want to be able to make over $10,000 a month on YouTube. Money being a life goal in itself is not bad, but it does feel scummy when he improves the life of his family by ruining others. Hey, but at least he's passionate about it, although not enough to upload consistently. You know what's worse than Chalupa not deleting his video and taking money instead? Him doing that when he didn't even need the money. Chalupa's whole running joke amongst his subscribers is that he doesn't upload frequently or consistently, which is less of a joke and more so reality.
One issue that nearly killed my channel numerous times. I was procrastinating.
When am I gonna post again? I don't know. Preferably soon. This time I actually do have a
I actually am working on something pretty big. And I mean actually working on it. I'm telling you, I'm actually working on it. Consider joining the membership and Patreon for content that I gotta release soon.
If he needed money, he would have made more videos. It's as simple as that. Was he ever consistent when he always needed to be consistent? I found way too many videos of Chalupa sort of apologizing for his inconsistency that at some point I just stopped taking screenshots. If he really needed to support his family, he would have just uploaded more often. Why are his subscribers defending him with a financial excuse when they know this better than I do? Can you not put 2 and 2 together? It's not that he's incapable of working faster, there are just enough reasons to believe that he doesn't try. I don't know about you, but if I needed money, like genuinely needed money, I would be speed running my YouTube career. I don't think Chalupa works even 8 hours a day, and he would if he really needed the money. Something tells me that his family was going to be perfectly fine even if he lost out on the revenue for this singular video, because this video was uploaded in 2023, the same year he states in an interview, "I want to be able to improve the life of my family with this channel," and so far it already has helped a bit. Now I don't know about you, but this improve part doesn't seem so financially urgent, and this a bit part here implies that he was not making that much money on YouTube and that he was not the breadwinner of his family, meaning his family would have been fine without him. Now of course, something could have changed between the time of the interview and him making the FNAF video for him to need money urgently, but something tells me that was not the case, because if it was, then he would have just said so. There would have been no reason for him to pretend like his financial situation wasn't severe. Even if you, as a Chalupa fan, don't believe anything I say because you're biased, he literally says in his own words a year later that he has not been working hard enough in the past. His inconsistency is so bad for no reason other than self-discipline that he had to apologize to his subscribers, saying, "I can't blame anyone or anything other than myself." And even in this apology, you can see that he used the word help. This channel genuinely helps me and my family, and it's a joke the way I haven't been working hard enough. I have the skills, resources, and support to go for it, and yet I don't. Chalupa doesn't sound like the breadwinner of his family before and after the FNAF webtoons drama, indicating that he didn't need to fuck over these creators and that the financial reason for keeping his video up was just an excuse rather than a valid reason. You have to be responsible for your mistakes. That is a basic human principle. If you needed money, you could have just made another video by working harder and sleeping less. That's what it means to take accountability by sacrificing yourself because it was your fault. I don't understand that too much work was put into it logic, because the work that you speak of is not even reading the first thing that you see in the comic, and a needless amount of effort put into animating a rape scene. And Luro is way too nice, giving Chalupa the benefit of the doubt, saying maybe he just didn't notice the disclaimer. But I would not give Chalupa that benefit, not because he seems like a horrible person, but because it doesn't make logical sense. How do you click on a comic on purpose to read it, only to scroll through the first words that appear on your screen? Chalupa has no intention of improving as a person, so there is no point ignoring the controversy surrounding him with the excuse that no one is perfect. This shit could easily happen again with Chalupa. He clearly didn't think he did anything wrong, and his lifetime YouTube goal is more money, which again is not a problem in general, but considering his precedent, we have reasons for concerns. Someone tried to reason with Chalupa, asking, how is calling someone a pedophile because you didn't read the disclaimers a misunderstanding? And a fan defends him, saying, the conflict is already over, dude. Yeah, the conflict is already over, but the guy who took advantage of small creators while they were vulnerable still disrespects them long after the conflict is over.
Even if we do trash it, just like think about it like this is your first webtoon ever.
When we trash it, take it personally and never write again.
Yeah, that's what the FNAF writers do.
This was years after the conflict had already ended, but Chalupa still spreads the message that you shouldn't be like the FNAF webtoon creators who deleted and discontinued their webtoons after they got trashed on, as if it was the creators' fault for being too sensitive. Chalupa's lack of guilt and courtesy is genuinely disgusting. The defenses his fans have for him either do not help his case in the first place or don't turn out to be defenses later, so you're gonna need to find a better reason to support Chalupa if you don't want to sound brain dead. Speaking of Chalupa doing this shit again,
ooh, I gotta make a false accusation.
The FNAF drama was definitely not the last time he pulled this shit off. A more recent example is a video on another Canvas fan webtoon, this time based on Jeff the Killer, called Jeff Woods the Killer by Willer Gray. The next minutes of this video might make you believe in the dead internet theory because there is no way these people are real human beings. Chalupa implies that there is SA and pedophilia in this comic, which led to Chalupa's viewers harassing Willer. People still call him a pedophile pedophile, among other things, yet again, to this day, because justice has not been served at all. It clearly states on Jeff Woods the Killer that the two characters in this romantic interaction, Jeffrey and Billy, are consenting adults. This is even shown in Chalupa's video, but Chalupa doesn't trust it, claiming that the way the story plays out contradicts the author's statement.
Brother, you kinda contradict yourself with your own comic. Billy was blackout drunk, as in cannot remember the night in question, meaning his faculties and all are not functioning properly. Not only that, but they never tell Billy what happened, so he was essentially taken advantage of.
And the reasoning for this is that Chalupa is just confused. There is a 99% chance that he mixed up these two characters, and I only say 99 because I'm not supposed to share my opinion, but if I was, I would say that Chalupa is either delusional or a psychopath. This is Jeffrey, the one with longer hair, and Billy's hair is a lot more pink. Billy, nicknamed Sugar, is the one on top of Jeffrey because Jeffrey is a lot more shy. This is an extremely important piece of context that Chalupa doesn't show you in his video. Billy is the one who started and led a romantic interaction while drunk, and now doesn't remember what happened. But Chalupa says that the guy who blacked out, Billy, is the one who got taken advantage of, which implies that Billy took advantage of Billy, and Billy doesn't remember what happened, which somehow makes it SA. I don't know why Chalupa doesn't just show you that Billy is the one on top of Jeffrey, because they're fully clothed. That should be safe for YouTube. Maybe YouTube is really strict. We'll find out if my video gets age restricted. But then again, why didn't he just blur out a part of the panel? It's not like he doesn't know how to do it. He did it a month ago. This is why you can't trust Chalupa. If we're honoring the 1% chance that Chalupa framed the author by mistake and not on purpose, you can really tell he was in a hurry to go to his birthday party. Chalupa just straight up says that this interaction between Jeffrey and Billy is a crime.
Crimes that aren't murder.
When two people are drunk, just because one of them doesn't remember what happened doesn't mean they were SA'd. What kind of logic is that? Billy and Jeffrey did not even sleep together. Billy just bit Jeffrey's neck, and that's all that happened. Another character, Lou, walks in on them. Classic trope, so that's all there is to this interaction. Chalupa is so mad at this indie webtoon, it's crazy.
This webtoon has actually surprised me in how horrid it was. There's a lot of text. The original story was hot garbage itself. So they add their own Wattpad fanfiction spin on it and managed to make it worse. You've got to be a special writer in a bad way to make a poorly written mess like Jeff the Killer worse. And if the writer's capable of that, I do not want to see what they can write on their own. History in the making here, but there's nothing to be proud of. They tried to redo the original story, made it worse, added implied assault of the sexual variety, and the comic isn't a comic, it's an essay. It's over!
He definitely just leaves out certain panels to portray comics in a negative light and puts up a front hating on the comics irrationally to pay the bills. Don't believe me?
I want the bad webtoons. Me hating it in my videos? It's all a front. All of it is a front. I need the bad webtoons. I need it to sustain. I need it to pay money. I need it to pay rent, my bills. I need more bad webtoons.
You'd think he was joking if he wasn't actually doing this. The worst part is that the author genuinely believes that he created SA because thousands of people are claiming so and is horrified. The collective hate for his comic has gaslit him into thinking that he drew rape as a victim of SA. Chalupa could have easily been the catalyst to end someone's life. Willer cut out this whole romantic interaction from his comic so you can't see it anymore. A commenter under Chalupa's video implies that Willer is pro-shipping by yelling, "Billy the small child who was implied to be much younger than Jeff, they shipped him with Billy?" Huge emphasis on implied here because no one knows Billy's age in the original story of Jeff the Killer. But Chalupa just goes along with this, implying that the author is pro-shipping what seems to be a child and an adult based on their collective belief that there is a huge age difference between Billy and Jeff in the original story. Chalupa just couldn't mention his disdain in his video because he was in a rush to finish it before his birthday. I guess he can't make videos on his birthday? It's just Chalupa doesn't have any room to talk. He makes sexual jokes about children, and if he was so disturbed by pedophilia, he wouldn't be so comfortable with it to make Epstein jokes all the time.
Are you Epstein?
Am I Epstein, man? I'm worse.
How old are you?
18 years old.
Too old for Epstein.
Where is the consistency? What is this hypocrisy? He is way worse about protecting children than the creators he criticized. Someone even spread false information claiming that Billy turned 6 years old while Jeff was 13. But Billy's age is never stated in the original story. He's clearly implied to be younger than Jeff, so Willer gave them a 2-year age gap. In this webtoon, you can see that they are visibly around the same age. They also never date as children in the webtoon because the romance starts in college. As a Chalupa fan, don't you think it's hypocritical when you're fine with edgy humor including pedo jokes but sensitive about a potential 7-year age gap that you made up and then proceed to claim that the author is romanticizing grooming, SA, rape, and pedophilia? Insanity doesn't even cover the level of delusion here. Can we not think for ourselves? How are you going to believe Chalupa when he blurred out the evidence for his claims? It's like they want a villain so bad just to virtue signal, so they're just making one. This person is one of the only free thinkers in Chalupa's comment section. Billy's age is never stated in the original Jeff the Killer. You can read it yourself, the link is in the description below. Willer is so devastated and distraught, obviously. The hate doesn't just end with Chalupa's comment section. Every one of these NPCs could make their own videos and comments, spreading even more hate and misinformation, like the one here on TikTok. No one who actually read the webtoon would say that the creator made non-con of them as minors. There are 3 lies in this 4-word sentence. How do you do that? The characters didn't even have sex and they were clearly consenting adults. Even in the original story, Jeff was an adult. There's a flashback of him as a minor, but that doesn't mean fanfic authors aged Jeff up. He was already an adult. This is a real issue directly caused by Chalupa. This isn't one of those the YouTuber isn't responsible for the actions of their viewers kind of thing. Chalupa made this happen. Here's another TikTok with a new accusation. Incest. I wish I was joking.
Lou, Jeff's blood-related older brother, had a hard-on for him. Jeff the Killer webtoons suck ass. Whatever.
Putting the AI aside, if this NPC read the webtoon, why isn't he showing proof? Why is he claiming that there's incest in a story without showing the incest? I don't understand why Willer's webtoon is so mindlessly hated on. The allegations against it are never backed up by evidence, and I read it myself to see what the problem was, but there is no rape or incest in this webtoon, and the characters engaging in romantic activities are definitely not minors. Even the other character that Chalupa thought was about to rape Jeff had his reasons to believe that he and Jeff were actually dating. The story is a little edgy obviously considering the genre, but I thought Chalupa fans were into edgy content. The lore is pretty interesting if you just read enough episodes to see them, and there is actual lore. The nickname that everyone makes fun of, for example, is not even English. There are very few people defending this webtoon, and by very few I mean like one person, because these performative conformists want to act like they're positively contributing to society by hopping on a hate wagon as if it's some harmless fashion trend, continuously defaming Willer for more content while the reputation of him and his comic is ruined as he suffers in silence. Why is he suffering in silence? Because he had to remove his social media presence due to harassment. Willer has been harassed by Lexet, another Jeff the Killer webtoon creator, since 2020, before Chalupa made it worse in 2025. This information is quite public. How is bullying an innocent person a fun fact? Chalupa fans are truly something else. A YouTuber made a video about Lexet harassing Willer in the past, but his channel is long gone, so we received permission to re-upload it. You can find the link for this video in the description below. Chalupa made several videos on Lexet's webtoon before moving on to Willer's, and while reading Willer's webtoon, Chalupa switches to Lexet's webtoon mid-video, claiming that Lexet's is better.
I did not walk into this webtoon thinking Jeff's disorders would be outdone, yet here we are. I'm gonna take back Jeff's disorders in a heartbeat! If you guys want to see the previous entries, there's a playlist. We're switching mid-video!
This is the only time that Chalupa has ever switched webtoons mid-video.
I read this Jeff's Disorders one for the past couple years annually. Thought there's no way they can make a worse Jeff webtoon, right? Oh, yes, they could. Do you know how horrid of a webtoon you have to be to make me switch webtoons mid-video? This is a first.
But you know she sent porn to minors, so why are you platforming her like this?
I found out that the creator of this webtoon has gotten herself into a little bit of controversy. Now, I do not want to get into that. I am a reaction YouTuber, not an explaining YouTuber.
Summarizing the proven fact of Lexet sending porn to minors as a bit of a controversy is crazy. How do you read sending porn to minors and say, we don't care about that?
The creator got herself involved in controversy, but we don't care about that.
This was Chalupa's first video on Lexet's webtoon, and knowing she sent porn to minors, he proceeded to make 4 more videos featuring her comic, despite some of his own comments exposing her character. Chalupa only has 4 playlists on his channel, and one of them is for Lexet's webtoon. I thought you didn't like talking about this webtoon?
I do not want to talk about this roleplay of a webtoon any longer.
What happened?
So long as there's still episodes for this webtoon, there will always be a video made on it every October. This webtoon feeds me. If there's one thing I've learned while doing YouTube, it's that those views don't lie!
People who watch these videos are not going to know what Lexet did because Chalupa doesn't talk about it, so he's only publicizing her webtoon for more people to read and potentially support her. He frames webtoon creators who did nothing wrong and doesn't even mention the proven actions of a real problematic webtoon creator. Was he paid by Lexet, or are his morals really that atrocious? Creators like Luro, Lova, and Willer paid for Chalupa's rent with their sanity, while most of them didn't even make money on their own comics. Is that not crazy? Chalupa should have known about the harassment Willer suffered because Willer wrote about the Lexet situation on episode 9 of his webtoon, and Chalupa reads 10 episodes. But I'm gonna give Chalupa the benefit of the doubt that he doesn't deserve and assume he didn't read because that seems to be what he does. And also because if Chalupa knew about the harassment and proceeded to make a video slandering Willer's comic, humanity would have truly revealed its colors once again, and I don't want to assume the worst in people. I don't have to assume the worst because I already know he is the worst version of himself.
Oh boy. Okay,
Chalupa still directly slanders Willer's comic to this day, 5 months after the slander video.
That looks like the freaking guy from the Jeff the Killer. Yeah. By the way, the one that like falls in love with Jeff is canonically like 7 or 8 years younger than Jeff in the actual creepypasta. Yeah, no, Jeff in the original creepypasta said, "Mom, I'm not going to some little kid's party." Jeff is like 13 and the kid's like 5 or 6. Brother, the original story was hot garbage itself. You've got to be a special writer in a bad way to make a poorly written mess like Jeff the Killer work.
This is a Chalupa video, man. There's no such thing as logic.
I mean, this stream was 2 weeks ago, but who knows what lies he's telling today. It's a cycle of him feeding his fans lies, and his fans feeding him lies, and them collectively spreading all these lies, which is quite literally criminal behavior. Chalupa could get sued for this. If you're a Chalupa fan, you should tell him to delete this video for his own good because what he's doing is literally illegal. He is directly preventing the growth of this webtoon and ruining its reputation with false accusations, which horrifically impact the creator's life. If you are truly a Chalupa fan, you would be protecting him by sharing this message and getting him to delete his video. If you're an adult who's into BL, and make sure you're an adult please, and if you are, check out Jeff Woods the Killer on Webtoon Canvas by Willer Gray and consider supporting him on Patreon if you end up liking it. The link is in the description below. He's really passionate about his comic, and all of this slander has caused severe emotional, mental, and financial struggles. I appreciate you taking the time to seek truth. When someone critiques something, it's usually because they have extensive knowledge of it. Chalupa is just some random consumer.
Donate me $1 billion and I eat a stick of deodorant. It's a stick of deodorant along with a face reveal. Imagine that, chat. Imagine that. Chalupa face reveal while eating a stick of deodorant. I need money. I need money. Instead of deodorant, I spelled donation! I spelled donation! Oh wow! Let's take up.
I I know you guys miss these kinds of videos, and don't get me wrong, I like making them, but I've officially become the webtoon guy.
How much more? How much more? It is going somewhere. My sanity, that is.
He clearly doesn't like reading webtoons, but does so because it became his brand.
How long is this? Oh my days!
I think you're also just getting super distracted.
Why does it matter if the episode is long? Isn't he here to read webtoons? He genuinely sounds stressed.
Oh my goodness.
On streams, he either gets distracted easily.
We chose the gamer. This is a webtoon reading stream, and we haven't even started reading the gamer.
Or tries to speed run webtoons.
Sam, Maggie, you made it. Did you find the place okay? Yeah, goofball, traffic was a real nightmare. Wait, really? Fascinating. And then once you move to the boxes to Highway 4, where do you go then? They go then? Let's skip a chapter or two. Let's skip to episode 10. I wonder what's gonna happen. Ah, it's still 260!
He hate reads them with screaming sound effects or horror ambience in the background, and for him to switch to a different webtoon, you have to pay him money.
You donated something! Tell me what to read. We keep on reading? Yes, we do keep on reading because the person who donated told me to read this!
So chat pays to free him from a bad webtoon.
Donate, please! Please! I'm stalling! Oh, thank you!
Someone pays him to be free of webtoons in general, or at least that's what I thought. But then Chalupa thought the webtoon was called Daddy's Home, searched for it, and then started reading something that is clearly not called Daddy's Home. Why is he so dumb?
Since Chalupa isn't the smartest guy around,
I'm gonna lose all my subs for being so stupid.
The person who sent the donation is probably as confused as I am.
My mistake! My bad!
The donation wanted him to read a webtoon he likes, but you know what he does instead?
What do I read then? Let's see what's on popular. Never mind, let's see what's on originals. This one might make a video on. This one. This one. You know.
He doesn't even know what to do.
Let me go to my latest video. Let me go to my latest video and see what the top comment recommendation is.
The way he can't even recognize a thought bubble just goes to show how often he reads webtoons.
Either. Good.
This is from the novel.
Because Chalupa is not gonna play that character anymore.
I thought that was
That's a thought bubble. That's a thought bubble.
Oh!
He also can't even recognize the main character of the comic he's reading.
Cheesy, that's you.
That's the same girl.
That's you, Chalupa.
Same girl.
Chalupa, that's you.
That's not me.
No,
yes,
it's her seeing the memories.
No,
that's
look.
The girl that gets.
No, look. That's the one on
shit.
Earthline.
This is what happens when you read Lookism.
Chalupa doesn't read webtoons in his free time, besides Lookism, because he needs to make videos on them.
You don't even read webtoons in your free time, you just did them for the videos.
Avada Kedavra!
And he also has to be careful of what he's reading on stream, so he can make videos on them.
No! He means Ecstasy Hearts! Am I gonna make another video on Ecstasy Hearts? I probably will. But I don't want to spoil myself for freaking, like, in case in the video, man. Wait, didn't I set that rule in chat? Have my back here, I don't read ones that are that I might link a video on, right?
And at that point, just stop. This is so pathetic. Webtoons didn't do this to him. You did this to him. Stop watching his webtoon videos and he wouldn't be this greedy.
I had to be greedy, didn't I?
And entitled.
Donate! Wait, hold on. Easy Rat said, L. Anthony, we have to kill Easy Rat. Find Easy Rat's house. Find Easy Rat's house and eliminate! Don't actually do that though. I have to, for legal reasons, I have to say don't do that.
Why would you even make a joke like that? Don't you know how many sick fans you have?
Yeah, exactly! I'm only halfway through! I already read a good chunk from the last stream, and I'm still only halfway through! How much longer is this? How much longer is one episode? Anthony, save me! Save me, Anthony!
Chalupa crashes out during a read-through of a comic that was made by a questionable person, and for some reason, the majority of his chat wants Chalupa to read this comic. It's brought up in every stream. As someone who watched too many of Chalupa's webtoon streams, let me tell you how they work. For Chalupa to read the webtoon you want him to read, you have to donate money. This used to be order-based.
Alright, here we go. It's time for us to read Key Sisters. Episode 1! Oh, new donation. Unbreakable Iron Ranger. And that's it for Key Sisters.
This makes it so that Chalupa can't read a single episode of any webtoon, meaning it is almost impossible for him to run out of webtoons to read on stream. Therefore, almost impossible to run out of stream revenue. Because so many people were donating small amounts of money at a time,
how much $2 does this guy have?
Chalupa said he's going to prioritize donations over $10.
I'm making a new rule. If you donate over $10, it automatically destroys everything that's below $10, and I prioritize the $10 over $10 one.
Implying that he's going to read the webtoons requested with the biggest donation. So chatters now pay as much as possible for him to read the webtoon they want him to read. It's this whole cycle of competition between donors that can be described as a money farm for Chalupa. He doesn't even read the webtoons. He checks out the channels of the donors to thank them, then goes back to glazing an athlete. He does eventually read one single episode of Questism, which means the webtoon request cycle has reset. So he proceeds to read a different webtoon on an illegal website. You'd think that someone who makes money for free by trashing on webtoons will have the decency to at least watch an ad or something on a legal webtoon site, but no. To Chalupa, webtoons are just an endless pool of free content to make money on, and when he makes videos on them, specifically BL creepypastas, he disregards the real individuals behind these comics that have to deal with the consequences of his actions. Chalupa is clearly doing this for money, but why does he want money so bad?
You want to know what happened last time I read a good webtoon? Oh, it says 234,000 views, huh? But no, not initially. It was 70,000. It got me no money, and I starved that month. I starved. And from that moment on, I decided no more.
This seems like a skill issue because his title isn't clickable enough. Notice how he doesn't include the title of the webtoon for his hate videos, but doesn't even bother coming up with a better title for his positive videos and complains about them not getting views. If you live paycheck to paycheck as a YouTuber who didn't have financial obligations starting out, that is another skill issue. Why do you have no money saved up when you were apparently making $700 per video even in 2023? Did you scam those FNAF creators, or is it because you only make 1 or 2 videos a month on your own volition? If you're a Chalupa fan, at some point, you just gotta ask yourself, how great is he really if he can only succeed by dragging others down because he can't motivate himself to work?
Consider joining the channel membership to motivate me to make videos quicker.
Do you not realize how pathetic that is? Him being self-aware doesn't make it any less pathetic. How do you say slander and doesn't have any controversy in the same sentence? Maybe he doesn't have controversy because you think videos slandering webtoons are good videos. Chalupa's harmful content inspires more harmful content, and videos like these have real consequences, so you should always think twice about making a video just to hate on something an individual made with no constructive criticism or evidence for your slander. That all leaves us with a quote from Chalupa. "When I die, I want people to remember fondly as someone who did good for the world." You'd think he was a human rights activist with that quote. I think we can all agree by now that positivity is the last thing he promoted. Here are my conclusions. 1. Chalupa is overrated for the sole excuse that he is better than another YouTuber in the same niche. Jack would never go as far as to animate a rape scene. I'm sorry to tell you, but he did turn out to be as bad as that furry guy. I actually think he's worse because Jack commits his atrocities openly, while Chalupa hides behind a facade to appear likable just so he can make more money. 2. Chalupa is insensitive, discriminatory, immature, and bigoted, which leads to his humor being controversial, and this humor is not satire. 3. He has horrendous ethical values, and his morals are worse. He frames people, spreads misinformation, profits by ruining other people's lives, and takes no responsibility or accountability. He does not own up to his mistakes and covers them to control the damage to his reputation. He still disrespects his victims and can easily cause more victims in the future. 4. His subscribers tend to gloss over his mistakes for what matters more, which is calling out bullshit on webtoon sometimes, so don't let their glazing influence you and know who you're watching before deciding to consume his content. I have no problem with Chalupa making actual webtoon reviews or reactions that don't ruin anyone's lives or reputation. Some of his videos are completely fine. I think he's better off on Twitch.
What's happening? Ikru and I! Ah! And Nintois in the chat! Chat! Spam Nintois! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Why? I can't resist it anymore! I can't resist it anymore! I can't! I can't! I can't! Yes! Look at it! And an assist for Colbert! The mere proof of my existence is the sheer glaze! The sheer glaze I have for Anthony!
Please take him. In all seriousness, you cannot read webtoons for a living when you don't even know how to read, and it's either you don't know how to read or you pretend like you can't read on purpose for views and comments. Chalupa not deleting these 6 videos is the reason I cannot feel an ounce of respect for him or anyone who supports him. Assuming these people are real and they believe this,
I must have faith in a random person on the internet.
I will also say something, because if they believe this statement, which they obviously do, then they will also believe me. So I will share my advice with Chalupa fans. If you're not a Chalupa fan, please skip past this segment. You believed this shit because you're as brain dead as he is. I like how your brains are turned off, but you just need to change what topics you turn off your brains for. If a marginalized group of people are offended by a word, just turn off your brain and accept it. Don't say the word. You're making enemies for no reason. You can question it if you don't know why it's offensive, but once you find out, you don't need to understand it. It's incredibly easy to just decide to do or not do something. If you can't even be bothered to find out why something is offensive, then turn off your brain then and there. It costs you nothing, and it means no harm to you and others. There are way more important things to contemplate in your life than ways to offend people. Being rebellious, liking humor that offends or hurts people is not a unique personality. You should think for yourself if you want to be someone, not just anyone. Are you really going to be a brainless follower your whole life? Turn your brain back on and retrieve your critical thinking skills. Is the evidence being shown? If there is no evidence, take this information for what it is, information rather than fact, because it's better to develop your own opinion once you have enough information, unless you want to sound like an idiot. You don't have to research, but if you didn't research, don't spread your misinformed opinion as fact. You don't need to publicize your intelligence. People are only impressionable when they want to be. You can choose to stop being impressionable whether you're a child or an adult as soon as you realize that you have the ability to think. I went into this thinking it was going to be a somewhat comedic 5 to 10 minute video, but the more I watched Chalupa's content, the more I found reasons to make this video longer. I hope that everyone can see the effect that his videos have on not just the creations or creators he trashes on, but the webtoon community as a whole, fearing for their turn to be harassed, which discourages artists and authors from making a webtoon in the first place. If you're a creepypasta fan, you might be interested to know that Willer and his acquaintance found Travis, the missing author of the original Jeff the Killer. The story of how they found him and a potential interview is going to be on Willer's website, jeffthekiller.com. It seems like a lot of people don't read video descriptions, so I also have to say, this isn't a commentary channel, so don't subscribe expecting more commentary. I'm not cut out for commentary. Too many people complained about the way I talked about Chalupa in my last video that I had to go back and look at my script, because I don't remember calling him a misogynist, but they were making it seem like I was. How do you complain this much to someone pointing out his reputation? That is just factual information. I would say they are overreacting and completely not prepared for the internet. Seriously though, Chalupa fans are so sensitive, they should not be accusing anyone else of being soft. Thank you all for watching. I would appreciate it if you could share this video with others that might be interested, preferably rich adults into BL. Thank you to everyone who subscribed regardless of what content I make. Fun fact.
Oh,
It's like that one where he's like, "Am I?"
We're getting political here.
Chalupa.
Never.
I'm talking about a
Never.
I'm not a political person, which is why this section is at the very end. It's for people who aren't political, so don't take this too seriously if you are. Chalupa didn't want to publicize it too much, but when you realize that this guy is conservative, him saying female is a gender makes a lot of sense.
Due to his lack of respect for the female gender.
Yeah, it can be the female. Are there?
Yeah, I was taking all the female options for you last time.
He also supports Donald Trump.
Oh my goodness! Oh,
Trump, please save me. Please save me.
Donald Trump, please save us.
Oh boy.
Donald Trump, strike webtoon down. Take down the website. Donald Trump, please turn the power off.
But this is just his friend group talking about Trump. If you want more concrete evidence, he says so himself on his seemingly public Quora that he is a Trump supporter. This public Quora account was tied to his email. He wasn't being secretive about it. He wasn't hiding his Trump support in his videos either. Here is Chalupa implying that Mexicans are taking jobs away, which is pretty weird to say the least.
Just make sound
Gotta
effects
take
for
my
them.
job away, huh?
Groaning
Typical
sounds.
of you, Chalupa.
I'm not taking away your job. Wait.
Taking
Hold on.
away
I am Mexican. Hold on, I am Mexican.
I wanted to know his thought process behind being a Trump supporter as a Mexican American because Chalupa seems to be a second-generation immigrant. I can understand someone not feeling patriarchal towards their ethnic nation, but I do believe in equality as a moral value, and Chalupa being conservative probably means that he is